Alright guys, so it is Sunday, March 10th, and we just got some Slow Drip coffee. If you guys are from Houston and you haven't had Slow Drip, you are missing out. Some of the best coffee flavor wise, just overall in Houston. I like it because they have these ready to go bottles, so you literally walk in and walk right out with whatever flavor you have. So they have brown sugar oat, which is my favorite. Then I think they have like a cinnamon flavored one, and then a couple of others like the regular like vanilla oat. Anyways, their coffee is really good. So right now we're heading to Humberto's place, which he's really well known in the thrift world here in Houston, and this place is super dope. So I'm actually gonna text him if he's cool with us vlogging, just because I haven't even asked. I just brought the camera just to see, like, just to have it just in case. But Jared was like, oh, like, are we vlogging? I'm like, yeah, vlogging. They really planned for it, but I mean, I guess. So yeah, heading that way now, and then Jared will meet Humberto for the first time because there's some potential there for some work for him and his business. So with me leaving town pretty soon, that can be something that Jared can take over. So that's a potential there, and I just wanted to, you know, introduce them and see what can be made of it, you know, in the next few months. So so yeah, let's head that way, and yeah, go check out his spot. You'll see some B-roll of this place. It's so fire. That room over there just has like everything. And I came here on Friday, and just has some straight fire, all kinds of vintage. So I'll link the page to his thrift business right here. Yeah, it's crazy. Nice studio. We'll show some B-roll of the studio too. Yeah, super clean. This piece right here. I've never seen a nylon Nike jacket from like the 90s. Look at the back colorway. Soccer. This is one of the pieces. It's crazy. I think it's too small for me though. This camo one too. Too small. Outside the other day. Got like these right here. Suns.
Is that leather?
Leather?
Bro.
Leather jacket. You don't find this anywhere, bro. Even like at like the shops you can visit, like on, you know, Washington or like just like Montrose area. Like some of the pieces I've seen here, you cannot find over there. Like look at this one, like a cozy vibe. Obviously, we're getting closer to warm weather now, but you don't see stuff like this. Yeah, do you think you would want to do like a lounge kind of spot?
I do.
Where maybe like, I even see like this little corner here, like a TV and like a sofa and just like a chill.
Yeah, that's exactly what we were thinking. So like, this probably is the most welcoming to have like an open sofa here spot, you know, have art everywhere type thing. Yeah, like that's kind of what it's going to be opening up to. I want to get a bar going, you know. I kind of want to put the TVs up. That way you see like the full experience. Trying to piece it together slowly, but not trying to like rush it either. You know, it's like it's the process too. You know, you can't forget the journey of it.
You want to do it right.
Yeah,
it's gonna take time.
You'll look
right?
back in like 6-7 months, and then this would be put together.
Yeah.
You know, and it'll be very functional. But
if you can, give us a rundown of like, for the vlog, of course, like obviously your vision for this space, but then also like just what you have laid out now. It's kind of like how your operation works right now.
yeah, I mean, the vision for it would be like just obviously to do our online operation and do everything like that, but I really just want this to be like a creative space, you know, where it's like whether it's art, design, sewing, upcycling, film, photos, video, production. I want it to be a place where like people like Polo and Jamal that just, you know, they're, hey, we want to shoot, just come by. They know I'm here, you know, we're working. There'll be other creatives here. So kind of build it up to where it's like a place where people come and work and we can just kind of work with each other on our own projects or work together. And I feel like what I loved about the whole thing of having this spot, I've met some amazing people, which is the best part, because I'm not the type of person to, you know, I'm very much an introvert when it comes to just kind of socializing and stuff, but when it's in this setting, it just feels much better.
Feels natural.
Yeah,
Feels
yeah,
natural.
Exactly. So it feels like it's as much easier, and the quality of people you meet here compared like you would meet anywhere else is very different. So to me, it's like build it up to where obviously we're working and we're running our business that kind of holds everything together, but after 5, this turns into whatever it needs to become, you know. And I'm still kind of working it out, you know. Obviously, we have a whole upstairs that we need to deck out, all the walls that we need to put art and or like decorations. You know, I want to have like an interior designer come and kind of help me set the vibe and the aesthetic for this, and be able to have workshops. Be able, you know, I just it's
cool.
you know, we did one and it was great. We were supposed to do one with some athletes, but I kind of pulled the plug because it was a little too premature for me right now, and I wanted to make sure the experience really was maximized, which is not always the best. You know, sometimes you just gotta go for it. But at least in this situation, I was just like, let's just wait. And yeah, man, getting out of the first 3 months of the year, which are probably the toughest after getting into a new spot, kind of having everything running. But you know, we run our e-com, which is the stuff that has all the racks, which this is kind of new for us. We haven't, you know, we just kind of started this year to really push our retail side of online, and this kind of right here is just kind of where we store everything for the time being. During the week, sometimes it's out there, but once the weekend comes, we push everything in here. That way it's completely open. We're uploading like maybe like 50 to 100, maybe sometimes 150 items a week, which I'd really like to step it up. You know, I think there's much more room to really scale it. You know, it's been a cool part of it. And then across is where we do all our fulfillment, and then we have all our packs. What the name says, you know, kind of like vintage packs. Everything is curated, everything is washed, folded, sized, and just kind of put together. So yeah, that's kind of been our superpower in this, is just kind of our attention to detail, our attention to quality, and like refusing to like put out less than good stuff, you know what I mean? A lot of people, you know, that like bundles and mystery boxes have a lot of bad reputation because people will go and they'll give them what's left over. The beautiful thing about us is everything that comes in and goes directly into our pack, so you know, it keeps, you know, for the value of what this is compared to what you're getting, you know, it's like the price of one shirt most of the time.
Bro. When I saw, I was like, dude, this is like I haven't seen this idea from anybody. I'm sure, like you mentioned, like people try to replicate, right? But it's like when you know you're the one that started making this movement, and it's like, all right, like putting straight out fire to people. But like,
and you know, it's crazy because like after we started, things started coming up, and like a lot of copycats started doing it. Now I'm not saying I invented bundles by any means, but obviously, like I think the concept of the word packs nowadays is thrown around in reference to this, and I do know that we coined that as far as like what it is in vintage world. So it's pretty cool to see. It sucks, we get a lot of customers that are like, oh, I bought from y'all and y'all ripped me off, and then I look them up and they've never bought with us, and I let them know, and they're like, oh yeah, it's a company that's very similar. And I'm like, you know, so a lot of bad people that are doing it to get rid of nonsense do put a bad name on it, but you know, this is our 4th year, so you know, these mystery bundle businesses usually don't last too long unless you're really doing like a decent job or a good job of making the customer experience good and make sure that they're getting good stuff, you know.
Exactly. So where can people find like this, bro? Like
vintagepacks.com, you know, the website would have it all. It would have all our packs. We restock as often as possible, really, maybe 2-3 times a week. Same things with the drops. Never really announce them, but you know, we have a consistent clicks on the website that it just kind of goes on itself. But you know, vintagepacks.com, vintagepacks on Instagram, and you'll be able to find a lot of stuff. We're gonna be showing a lot more, you know. I feel like we've never really showed anything, you know. And I think, like I was telling you when we spoke last time, it was like I think our customers would enjoy being able to see what they're purchasing and where they're purchasing it from, and you know, where it comes from at least, and the quality and the care and just the vibes that it's coming from. I think that's important, which I didn't realize too.
And I think the behind the scenes, right, like seeing like the operation, but also like who runs it, and obviously like hopefully down the line, like we can showcase a team, and like, you know, how everybody works together. And I feel like everybody also, like, when you're, you know, part of something, it's like everybody has their own character to them too.
For sure.
It's kind of like showcasing that also. Like I feel like people would appreciate.
And there's many depths to it too, right? Like this is like the top that you're seeing,
what you see, right?
And you know, we also have another warehouse where we have the behind the scenes, where we have all the raw stuff, and it's a little more grungy. It's like more like you know, yeah, it's like the back end of the business, which that's very interesting too, you know, because we worked out of that for 3 years, and that kind of made us, and we kind of, you know, which is a beautiful thing to see. Also the comparison of where we started and where it is now. It's actually crazy. It started in my mom's garage, then it went to a storage unit, and then we got a little warehouse, and then, you know, now it's like evolved into something beautiful. So I guess that's the proof, you know, that's all the proof you really need. And that's why I never felt the need to like make it public, because it's like the proof is in the progress, you know what I mean? Like there's nothing to be said. Like we're just working, and that's literally it. Like if this is working, I don't need all the other shit. But now you get to a point where it's like, well, you know, it's time to share it. I think it's cool that we're doing this in Houston, and we've never said anything, or no one really knows that. You know, I get a lot of people where they're like vintage packs, and they get surprised that it's based out of Houston. They get surprised that it's me that's behind it, which has been cool. But it kind of like, no, you got to open it up, you know. Exactly. You got to open it up, make an experience here. I don't know what will happen here, whether we, you know, we do an art show with nothing but vintage T-shirts, or we do actually art installations and we bring different artists, and just, I know that where this is going is a much better place than where it's been. So I'm just kind of, you know, not really being picky, just kind of going with it. Yeah, probably the best.
You got something good here, bro. So excited to see like what this year brings, like for you and your business. And I know we've talked about doing, you know, some stuff in the future, so it'd be super cool to see how that turns out. So
yeah, man, I think there's room for everything. Yeah, that's literally what I'm a very ADHD type person, so I love to be working like with or simultaneously doing things. That's where I'm most comfortable. When it's too quiet or too peaceful, then I get crazy. Like I start like, oh, what's going on? And, you know, so to me it's like, I like to do simultaneous things. I like to be busy. It's all I do, you know. I don't really like have hobbies or anything at the moment outside of what I do as far as like art, but I don't even consider it like art, or I mean, I don't consider it hobbies or work. It's like, this is just what I do every single day. Like every single day, this is what I get to do. You know, whether it's working, which that's the serious part, because you got to really handle your business in order to be able to enjoy it. But I'm trying to find that balance of enjoying it as well as, you know, working really hard and dedicating it, and not really worrying about any outside distractions or opinions. You know, it doesn't really matter at this point, which that's interesting.
And you'll see, like you mentioned, right? It's like documenting it, like as the time goes by, like you'll see where you were, you know, years from now to where you are now, and it's like, all right, well, now you can document this. Who knows 5 years from now where you'll be, but you'll always be able to see like this point in time.
And I think that's why it's so important, you know, because like at least for me, like, you know, you work so hard and you never really get to see what you've done, or, you know, I'm not the type of person to celebrate little milestones or accolades along the way. Like I've been always like, as soon as we do something amazing, I wake up the next day and it's like it's day one. And it's a double-edged sword, right? Because it's a good thing that you wake up with a new perspective and you're never too caught up on what you did, but also you never really give yourself credit for what you're doing, right? So years down the line, months down the line, for me at least, my mind starts like, everything starts getting blurry, and the doubt starts creeping in, or you know, this, you know, that negative emotion starts creeping in because you haven't stopped and smelt the flowers along the way. So this year for me is like, I want to stop, smell more flowers, take it in. Like, doesn't matter how much I stress or how fast things are going. Like, I just watched a video of like how much Elon Musk traveled in 2023. And it's like, and I'm complaining that I don't have time to, you know, or I'm overwhelmed. Or I'm overwhelmed. Like, bro, to do those type of things, or even remotely close, obviously that's a very, very 1 percentile, but even very close to that, that's what it takes, man. Like, I met another gentleman too, like he showed me his schedule. He's like, and I'm like, yo, like, how? And he's like, organization, you know? And I was like, okay. Like, I can't complain about it now. It's like, this is what you're here for. You want to be busy every day. I wanted something to do every single day. Polo literally called me and he's like, hey, I'm with Jamal. Can we come shoot at the studio? Yeah, come on. You know, and then I was like, I've been seeing this in my head for like 3 days, and I was like, I need to put it on an iPad so that I can put it on a painting. And then I liked it, and I'm like, all right, let me come shoot. And it just so happened that today, obviously, we had the arrangement of you guys coming, and that's kind of like, that to me is the confirmation I need to really start pushing this place for what it really needs to be. Right now, it's still very green, but once everything is really in place, like, it's just going to be very easy for people to come, you know, and have this crazy community of dope ass people.
I think for me, it's like a goal of mine in the future, obviously, is like having just a creative space where people can just, you know, they can come here for inspiration or whatever it might be, right, to see your work, but also like, you know, just it being a vibe here in Houston. So
Yeah, something, you know, something. Like I said, I don't know. I didn't get this place with any purpose. I wasn't even aware that I was gonna get it. Like, you know, it was just one of those things last year that I had an impulse, and it was either like jump or like stay behind and forget about everything, right? So it was like that moment where I just literally had to jump, and then I'm seeing it develop, and it's like, okay, this is cool, you know, because I always tell, right, like I let God decide for me, you know. Once I really made that decision, from me trying to get it all done and do all of these things and write a vision board, and once I let go of the fact that I can't do the things that I want to do without God, and I was like, you know what, let God do it, and I just walk it. That's like kind of how everything is for me. So every day is new, and I'm learning all these things, and I'm just kind of like walking through new paths, and I'm trusting that I'm going the right way. And you know, and it's hard sometimes, but at the same time, it's like, well, it wasn't supposed to be easy. You know, it's not.
nothing is, right?
No, it's not supposed
If
to.
it's worth it, if it's you know, you gotta trust the journey.
And that's it. You just want to walk, you know, and you wake up and you realize that you're on a journey and you're walking through doors. And you know what I mean? And sometimes you don't know what's on the other side of the door, but you got to walk through it in order to keep going, you know? So
Exactly.
that is where we're at right now.
Yes, sir. All right, guys. So that was Humberto and his thrift business, and you guys saw the rundown of that. And I think it's a good space, good potential for some future work. With Jared, of course, being in Houston, but I'll be popping in here and there, so we'll see where that goes. And I think it's a good opportunity just to showcase, you know, his work and what he has going on. And I think, you know, even just what we walked into today, that shoot that we're doing with one of the UH players was pretty dope. So yeah, that's kind of what we're gonna do for today. This is kind of like its own vlog. I feel like I think we captured enough to like make it into one. So yeah, appreciate you guys watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.